Hello everyone, today I'm talking to you about learning together virtually. This is from the book E-Learning and the Science of Instruction by Ruth Colvin Clark and Richard E. Mayer. It's chapter 14. My name is Robin McDaniel. We're going to talk a little about leveraging technology for collaborative learning. A decade of research since the first book has provided new guidelines on how to optimize online learning. Factors include collaborative group, technology, and instructional environment. Some questions to ask before you begin collaborative learning are: what types of collaborative assignments will benefit online learners? What individual accountability structures for online work are in place? When is it right to use synchronous versus asynchronous? What are optimal group sizes and composition? Which features of the online environment promote group work? In what ways can facilitators best promote social presence in an online course? And what is the optimal method for setting up collaborative controversy assignments? So let's look at collaborative learning. It's sometimes called the cooperative learning approach. The two heads are better than one approach, that is. Generally, teams of 2 to 6 individuals and sometimes more. Popular ways of setting up collaborative learning include team discussion and assignments given during training, performed in both face-to-face and online settings. And there are 3 fundamental questions to ask before you begin collaborative learning. And that is, do students learn more when they study by themselves or collaboratively? Do methods that utilize technology include synchronous and asynchronous communication have an impact on learning? And what online method is most effective? Would that be text, chat, audio, video, etc.? Studies generally have a consensus that collaborative learning is effective. Under certain conditions, collaborative learning can improve student achievement. This is true across subjects and grade levels. Johnson, Johnson, and Smith in 2007 found that cooperation led to increased achievement, retention over the long term, metacognitive ability, higher reasoning, and creative problem solving. Also, students were more willing to take on difficult tasks and work towards accomplishing goals. Hattie did a quantitative study and found the benefits of individual learning were in the medium to high range when students work collaboratively. These studies seem to indicate that collaborative learning can, under the right conditions, be just as or more effective than individual learning. There are some dissenting views on this, however. Not all research shows that collaboration has advantages over individualized learning. According to Kirschner, Pass, and Kirschner, it's not clear whether individual or collaborative learning and how they differ. And some studies have discovered that collaboration may even negatively impact individual learning. So more research is recommended on the effectiveness of collaboration, but also when it can be harmful to learning. So there are some conditions, factors, and guidelines for collaborative learning. When setting up collaborative groups, for instance, you're going to be looking at team size, team cooperation, and team collaboration process, and there are specific guidelines for each of these steps. In the pedagogical environment, assignment structure is particularly important. Assignment difficulties, the task should warrant teamwork, and social presence. So facilitators really need to help build and maintain interpersonal connections. As far as technology goes, synchronous versus asynchronous communication modes include text, audio, and video, and then of course team process support with social structures that include storage areas and annotation software, and this type of thing is important for teams to work together. In the computer-supported collaborative environment called CSCL, you have teams of 2 to 6 members who are either using synchronous or asynchronous modes of communication that support instructional goals that may include things like producing a product, resolving a case study, discussing a video, giving critiques to other team members, research and controversy resolution, solving assigned problems, and completing worksheets. So there are lots of different things you can do. So we're now in the second generation of e-learning where we're leveraging social media. The first generation of e-learning was designed for solo work. There were not very many practical ways to integrate group work into the online learning environment, and it was mostly asynchronous study and individualized learning. Web 2.0 and the advent of multimedia and social software changed all that, made asynchronous and synchronous more practical, and there are now many alternatives available for online collaboration. So in the second generation of e-learning, technology has simplified the process. The explosion of social media may also be of assistance, although there's no real clear evidence that it contributes to learning at this point. and benefits of these technologies are dependent upon how they are utilized. So a collaborative assignment should adapt to prior knowledge, learner outcome goals, offer structure, and facilitate collaborative changes to leverage social media learning. This is just basically a table that I wanted to offer you that shows different facility descriptions and e-learning applications. So some facilities might be blogs and mini blogs you could use in the collaborative environment, breakout rooms so that you can use in learning management platforms or learning management systems such as Blackboard, things like that. Chats, so where people communicate either synchronously or asynchronously. Email, that's generally done asynchronously. Discussion boards asynchronously. Online conferencing can be done synchronously where people have access to audio, whiteboard, polling, media, displays, chats. Social networks can be either synchronous or asynchronous, and this can be pages and groups. Wikis, again, that can be either or, where people are working on a document together. And then there are collaborative applications and specifically apps these days. There are multiple apps that people can use to collaborate in the online environment. So studies have focused on different areas such as measuring individual and group learning outcomes. The benefits of computer-mediated collaboration for learning, including using social media, are still mixed. Instead of attempting to gather evidence of the effectiveness of current collaboration in the online environment, it may be more effective to look at creating the conditions to boost collaborative learning online. So some principles to try might include using collaborative assignments for more challenging tasks, optimizing group size, composition, and interdependence, matching synchronous and asynchronous assignments with the learning goal, using the best collaborative tools for the group process, maximizing social presence in the online collaborative environment, and using structured collaborative processes to optimize outcomes. So let's look at Principle 1, collaborative assignments for more challenging tasks. Collaboration does reduce cognitive load. In Chapter 2, we looked at 3 kinds of cognitive load, including essential, extraneous, and generative. Distribution over several people, and the several minds may be better than one, might work for collaboration for complicated tasks. Cognitive costs of collaboration may be extraneous, however, and the mental effort to listening to ideas, giving feedback, and integrating multiple perspectives. So the benefits are dependent on the degree of cognitive benefits versus the mental cost. Collaboration benefits learning of complex tasks, but easier tasks are better learned solo. Complexity is relative and dependent upon learner prior knowledge, task guidance, and other variables. Studies indicate that performance for students working on low complexity tasks is the same, but on higher complexity tasks, they scored higher when collaborating. So in short, success will depend upon the problem, prior knowledge of learners, and the amount of support or examples provided. In Principle 2, when we look at optimized group size, composition, and interdependence, the larger the group size, the higher the transactional costs, which are mental resources devoted to communication and group processes. Larger groups may lead to unequal distribution of work, and some people may be doing more and learning more than others. And it may be helpful, though, to have larger groups to solve more complex tasks, but you have to weigh the pros and the cons. Larger group assignments may need more than 1 or 2 members. Each member can be responsible for one element of the project. The goal is to make the responsibility of each member that all succeed. The outcome goals should determine whether the group is homogeneous or similar, cognitively in this case, or heterogeneous, which is diverse, cognitively in this case. So studies indicate that when a problem is routine, cognitive diversity may be helpful, but when the goal is to flexibly problem solve, cognitive diversity may be an asset. It may be harmful when the goal is when it's very routine, it may be harmful, not helpful. In Principle 3, matching synchronous and asynchronous assignments with the learning goal. Synchronous environments have higher individual perspectives but may cause participants to jump to conclusions due to time constraints. Asynchronous communication allows all participants to communicate, and they have generally a longer period of time. When studies compare participant perceptions, cooperative and individualistic, completion rates, and learning of collaborative assignments under 3 conditions, including face-to-face, synchronous, and asynchronous, they found asynchronous environments had a lower assignment completion rate than fully face-to-face and synchronous. Asynchronous may not support relational processes required for cooperative learning. The instructor challenge is to use both synchronous and asynchronous to meet learning goals. Consider synchronous for goals that benefit from high social presence and require completion, and asynchronous for individual work. In Principle 4, you use collaborative tools that optimize team process and product. So factors that facilitate team working and output include technologies that support search and storage of relevant information. That might include document annotation, synchronous and asynchronous communication forums, representation of visual knowledge, online ratings by participants, profiles for members, and places for feedback. So these can all support the main stages of the collaborative process, which include articulating a theory or solution, identifying necessary knowledge, storing, summarizing, and sharing information, identifying unsupported information, generating a theory, and then reconstructing a more balanced theory and integrating multiple perspectives into that theory. In Principle 5, maximizing social presence in the online collaborative environment, social presence is how connected learners feel with the instructor and other learners. Asynchronous environments require a high level of attention by the instructor to acquire and retain a social presence. Factors that help online students connect include giving timely response to online posts, along with respect for time and effort invested by the student, also sharing professional interests and experiences as well as beliefs and values that are course related. Ensure an open venue where people are free to express opinions and use names when referring to participants. In Principle 6, using structured collaborative processes to optimize outcomes, the type of task assignment given to collaborative teams has a major impact on either product quality or individual learning. Dialogue will not occur when assignments are too simple, and assignments that are too vague will not work as well. So structuring assignments is important. Argumentation concerns developing positions and then backing it up with facts. They get supported with evidence found during research and integrate multiple perspectives. Structured controversy is one method of argumentation. And when using structured controversy, you can set team learners up in heterogeneous groups of 4, present them with an issue that lends itself to 2 or more perspectives. Teams then divide into pairs, each taking a pro or con perspective that includes evidence and facts. They then come back to the group of 4 and present their argument to the other team members. They then reverse roles. All members end up in understanding all perspectives. And after argumentation, the team enters a synthesis phase in which opposing perspectives merge into a single reasoned position. Structured controversy, according to Johnson & Johnson, is more effective than traditional debate, individual learning, or groups that stress concurrence or synchronicity. Recommendations for structured controversy include ensuring cooperative contests where goal is understanding opposing views, followed by synthesis of perspectives. Structure groups to include learners of mixed prior knowledge and ability. Provide access to a wide variety of information related to the issue. Make sure participants have adequate social skills to manage conflict, and try to keep group interactions focused on rational argument. So adapting structured controversy to computer-mediated collaboration, a study performed that compared student perception, task completion, and learning using structured controversy. They included 7 conditions, which included face-to-face teamwork and asynchronous and synchronous teamwork with multimedia components, text, audio, and video. Face-to-face and synchronous environments completed 100% of the work, whereas those in asynchronous settings completed only 63%. They found that learning was equivalent in each environment where the work was completed, however. So some phases of the work may benefit from asynchronous and others from synchronous. Support, including modeling and video on the art of argumentation, may be helpful for ensuring effective argumentation. More research is needed on this topic. So what to look for in e-learning? Projects or assignments that are challenging for collaborative work, simple projects for individual work, small and diverse teams, structured collaborative processes that support participation and accountability, both synchronous and asynchronous tools to support the project, support tools and resources, and instructor use of social presence facilitation. Here are your references. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.